The labor screen is organized around labor rates, so which are in the upper right corner. You need to have at least one labor rate. You may very well have more than one, because if you have different levels or expertise in your various people that work for you, they're different rates, so you put the different rates that you pay your employees in that upper right list. And you add an item just by clicking the plus button and filling in the rate per hour and description and so forth. And also things like labor tasks, which is the big left-hand grid. These are labor tasks, and this is on the right is labor rates. Labor tasks define how long, in terms of hours and minutes, that you takes to do a particular task as part of a job. If you want to put something in, like install vinyl per foot, per linear foot, it says here, you put in a rate, a fractional number that adds up to a total amount of time it would take depending on the size of it. So there's really two ways to use the labor rates. One is just on the hourly rate for employee, another is per foot or per square foot or whatever you want for a piece of material for installing it or doing whatever to it. So to add a labor task on the big left-hand grid, you first select a labor rate for that task from this list, and then click the plus button. Put in a code, again just an alphanumeric code that quickly or easily identifies a labor task. Vendor, just like in parts, if you choose to subdivide your estimates and subtotal them, you can encode that right into your materials and also your labor items when you create them, so you only have to create the subtotaling once. Basically, it just kind of happens automatically when you print an estimate or show it to your customer. And the same thing goes with tax and markup as it did for parts. If you want something included in the general markup, put yes in the markup column. If you want something to be taxed generally from the preferences screen, put yes, otherwise put no. Give it a description and the hours and minutes it takes to do that task. And again, on the right, lower right corner is a list of assemblies, which is the same list that you have in the parts screen. That's so you can add labor items to an assembly, and the one under parts is so you can add parts items to an assembly. So there's another video on specifically about assemblies. So I won't say any more about this screen. It's pretty straightforward. But to add a labor task item, one of these, to the estimate, just click on the right arrow. Or again, if you want to add a whole assembly, just click on the right arrow on the assembly list. The quantity thing works just the same when you're adding an item to an assembly as it did from the parts screen as far as assemblies go.